His big question was revolving around snacks and food, of course.
It's a good question.
Food, snacks, water. I know you guys said, that you guys got kind of a center of operation for all the different stages, but what's going to be available for people and what should we put in our backpack, other than lunch and the normal stuff?
So I totally misunderstood you. I thought you said sex and food, not snacks.
Oh,
I heard the same thing.
Advanced 13-year-old.
Food, snacks, and water.
Okay. That makes way more sense.
Welcome back to Shoot Hunt Podcast. I'm Ryan Avery. I'm with Jake Mushaney. It's Mushaney. Today on the show, we have two guests. We have Tad Anderson and Pete. Pete, I'm going to let you say your last name because I keep messing it up. Knipe, but let the man say it. That was part of the joke. God, he ruins my jokes.
My mother doesn't even know how to pronounce it anymore.
Oh, shit.
Knipe.
Knipe. It's Knelp.
No, it's an I.
I-P.
IP. Sorry, I write it down as an L. I went to school in Idaho. You have to forgive me.
It's not kelp.
It's just, at this point, just take liberties as you will.
Well, I appreciate you guys coming on the show. If for the people that don't know out there, these guys run the Nightforce ELR Still Challenge. It's held in Wyoming. It's held in June, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
We signed up, but Jake did all that, so I'm just guessing it's in June. And they are here to tell us a little bit how to, basically I wanted to get them on personally, kind of selfishly to say, hey, what's the cheat code? How can me and Jake come and win? But I don't know if they'll delve into the information of letting that out.
I don't think they have a lot to do with you winning. It comes down to shooting good.
Well, if you show them enough greenbacks, you can pretty much.
Oh, they're going to move you up in the practice score rankings.
Yeah.
Okay. Like back on when you're playing Mortal Kombat on Nintendo and you had like that 15, you got to do back, forward, ABC, and then the kill thing happens.
Hey, Biden won. Anything is possible with computers. Anyways, guys.
I saw a guy on stage 20 last year yell, finish him.
Nice.
Finish him.
Nice. That's Mortal Kombat right there.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I'll jump into the first question that Jake wrote for me. He's my handler. Background of the competition, how to get started.
So a little history on that. When I started shooting PRS style matches, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago, I was working for a ranch and I was trying to think of, different things that I can do. And I thought about, I'd attended a couple matches and I thought, man, I maybe want to try my hand at hosting one of these things, but I had no way to know, how to even get started. So I reached out to the Precision Rifle Series at that time and they put me in touch with Scott Satterley. And Scott came out and he told me a little bit about kind of this dream that he had for kind of like a PRS style match on steroids, for a lack of a better way to describe it. He explained to me that, most venues around the country, there's not a lot of opportunity to shoot much past 700-800 yards. Every now and then, you get some places where you can shoot a little bit further, but by and large, they're all relatively close range as far as long range matches are concerned. So I took him around the ranch and we kind of dreamt up this course of fire, where our average target distance was somewhere around 1,200 yards. We had a unique area to do this where, we're probably shooting 275, 280 degrees. So you might, you're going to experience every vector of wind that you can imagine all in the same day. And so we kind of dreamt this match up and we put it together and been running it with Scott ever since. And then Scott moved out of country and asked Pete and I to take over. So,
and what year did this start?
Short history of it. It would have been 2014 probably.
And so is the competition still held at the same ranch that you're referring to now?
It is not. No, we've since changed venues, and it's now on a ranch east of Casper, owned by Casey Tillard, the Tillard 55 Ranch.
Okay, and when did that change happen? How many competition years have been held there?
This will be the 4th, I think. Is that right, Pete?
Yep.
Okay.
4th year.
Yeah, I've only shot one competition in my whole life, and it was this competition in 2019, and it was when Scott was still there. I was just trying to figure out if it's the same ranch that it was then, but it sounds like maybe that was the last year at the place I was at, and maybe now it's moving now.
Possibly so. If you shot at the other one that was south of Casper, that was probably the last year.
Yeah, it was. It was it was probably about hour, 15 minutes or hour and a half or so to get from Casper at the hotel to the actual ranch, if I remember right.
Yep.
Okay, so that was the last year it was there. Got it.
How many shooters showed up the first year?
The first year?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, 40. It was like anything, trying to get started. It was a tough first couple years, but word got out, and it's just grown exponentially ever since.
What was that called?
This year, where are we at, Pete? I was just going to ask Pete where we're 270 people, I think, signed up. And
wow.
24 hours, I think.
I had, we'd opened up 240 registrations just because that's about what we can do on 20 stages and still keep people moving in a timely manner. And of those 240 spots, there are 31 or 34 teams right now. So it's about 270 shooters.
So we have quite a few questions that are kind of, I guess, logistical in nature. So with 240, 250 shooters running around there, that's going to be quite the mission to get guys moving, like you said, keep everything moving and functioning properly. So from like I said, Ryan and I basically are completely inexperienced when it comes to competition. Tell us just about, are you allowed to camp on site? Are there hotels local? Just walk us through from a very fresh competition shooter's perspective, what to expect, from the moment they get there Friday morning, where are you going to stay? Who's driving around? How are we getting from A to B, from stage to stage? Just give us kind of a general walkthrough, and you might hit on, quite a bit of our questions we have listed out.
Sure. Pete, chime in any chance you think you need to, but basically lodging is primarily in Casper. There are a few, or I guess there's one hotel, I think, in Glen Rock, which would be the next town closer. But Casper is going to be your closest town with all the major restaurants, hotels, all the nicer accommodations. But Glen Rock does have some spots.
And what's the drive like from Casper to get there?
It takes about 45 minutes. It's closer than the previous venue, but it takes almost the same time.
Okay.
Just the way that where it's located and where it's at.
Is it an option to camp on the ranch at all with a tent or whatever?
There's not, but there are a couple campgrounds in Glen Rock that are close. Okay. And so from Glen Rock, it's probably about a half hour.
Okay.
Yeah, Glen Rock's 18 miles or something like that, and it's a slow moving road.
Yeah.
Okay.
But,
interesting.
And then there's an RV park there too, isn't there, Ted?
Yeah, there's a couple of them. There's I forget the names of them. I think one's the Deer Creek Campground.
Okay.
And then there's one other one. I don't recall what it is. They're both pretty nice campgrounds. I don't know what they cost or charge to camp, but those are some options. And there's probably, for the guys that are a little more DIY, so to speak, there are probably some BLM spots that they could throw a tent or something if they wanted to, but they'd have to kind of research some of that information on their own.
Okay.
Can you kind of take us through the logistics of the days, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday? What happens when people show up? What's the start times look like? What's the finishing time look like?
Sure. So sign-in will start on Friday morning, and I think we started last year around 9 or 10. I suspect it'll be similar to this year as it was last year.
Typically what happens is you tell people that we're going to start signing at 10, so they start showing up about 6.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
They're excited, baby.
Pretty accurate.
I don't know if they think there's going to be a line or they just, obviously a lot of people travel, so they got nothing better to do with their day anyway than to show up and, start checking things out.
Nice.
Right.
Well, there's got to be registration day is pretty exciting. I'm sure you guys have some, some things planned going on. I remember something about a Sasquatch shoot. I think you paid a little bit of money and it was for donation, whatever. Unicorn shoot.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah,
tell us what, other than just zeroing, what other things, in registration, what other things might happen on that Friday?
Applied Ballistics is bringing out their mobile lab. So anybody that wants to get a custom drag model, they're welcome to bring their rifle out. They do have to sign up prior to. We'll have links for all that stuff on our Facebook page.
Okay.
But they can go out and Applied Ballistics. They can shoot their rifle or the AB guys can shoot it for them. And they'll get a custom drag model for their gun and their load. It's free of charge. It's completely free for the shooters to do. So, of course, we encourage that. We'll have a couple side matches, I believe. I've got one going on for sure, and possibly two little side matches for some different things, different prizes. That's kind of still in the works, so it's to be determined yet what we'll do there. And then, of course, we have our unicorn shoot.
That one gets to be kind of contentious.
I imagine.
It can, yeah.
What's the distance on her?
1920, 1960. Was it?
Okay.
1953, I think.
There you go. That's close enough.
Wow.
Nice.
They get 5 rounds for $20, and 10 rounds for $20. They count the number of impacts they get on it. Half the pot goes to the winner. Most impacts on the target. You can buy in as many times as you want.
Okay.
And the other half goes to charity.
Nice.
We've got guys, they'll still stay out there until dark, like until there's no shooting light left. They keep buying in, trying to beat the guy that's closest to them.
Nice.
I don't remember what those guys spent, 2 years ago? They spent like $200 and some bucks a piece trying to outdo the other guy.
Yeah, I don't remember. It was quite a bit. And then they also win a custom knife made by Mike Fuhr.
Nice.
That is nice. And so on Saturday, what time do you start? What time to start?
That's on Friday.
On like end of the shooting day on Saturday. What time does that kick off?
Last year, I think we had the safety brief at 7 o'clock in the morning, 7:30. Try to get a little bit early of a start because Saturday is typically our longer day. We want to try to shoot at least 12 stages on Saturday.
Okay.
And so we try to get everybody to bring all their ammo with them because we're going to shoot, until we can't really shoot anymore. Last year, I think we got 12 stages shot on Saturday, and I think we're done by 5 or 6. Do you remember, Pete?
Yeah, it was about 5 o'clock we were done. I mean, some guys ran a little longer than others, but getting that 12, 13, even 14, we'll definitely let guys know first thing in the morning. I know in years past, it's been like, we kind of want to shoot as many as possible, but guys tend to leave their ammo they don't need in the hotel room. Which certainly you need it there.
Is that so? Do people walk in between each stage? Is that how you get around?
They do. Yeah, for the most part. We have there's several stages that are a little further kind of removed from the main part of the course, but we shuttle people out there. So once you're done at that'll be the northernmost stage on the main part of the course, then you'll crawl in a trolley and we'll cart you and your gear over to those other stages on the opposite end of the course. You can shoot those, and then when you're done there, and all those stages are in close proximity to each other.
Okay.
And then once you're done there, you'll crawl back on the trolley and come back over, and they'll take you down to stage 1 again. So, I mean, the most you would have to walk at any point in the day would be a few hundred yards.
Oh, it's not bad at all.
I know that those shoots get crowded. Do you guys have any like cap on if you bring somebody to video, or do you have to okay that with you guys beforehand?
Yeah, we do have a videographer on the course this year. We did last year as well. So anybody that's bringing one or that wants, has professional videography will have to they'll have to get that cleared with Tad or myself prior to.
Can we bring one?
If your wife or girlfriend or something like that wants to come and take pictures.
Jake already asked me this.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Good.
Yeah, I talked to Pete already. I think we're understanding each other.
The reason I ask is I have shot the Vortex Extreme Challenge, and it was an absolute shit show with extra people and bottlenecks, and it was just chaos. So I imagine you guys do kind of put a cap on how many are out there.
Yeah, there's definitely, I mean, the venue is fairly forgiving with spectators and that kind of thing. I mean, as long as they're willing to walk along, there's definitely, it's not crowded.
Oh, good.
300 people is a lot of people, but it's on a really big place. There's, once everybody gets spread out on stages, it's not like anybody's standing on top of anybody.
So quite a few of the questions that Ryan and I have revolve around the team aspect of the shooting and how, like I said, I shot it in 2019, but I don't even think they had teams back then. Single shooter, nobody could spot for you. You were on your own. So just walk us through a typical stage for the open heavy from the team perspective. Are we laying down next to each other? Does one shoot in one spot? How's that going to work?
So what you would typically do is pair fire that stage. So, and Scott actually started this when he was during his tenure. We don't give stage briefs. First shooter gets the brief first thing in the morning. Everybody else needs to follow in line and keep up and watch what's going on. Because with that many shooters, if you stop for every squad and give it 20-something minute stage brief and targets, so on and so forth, it burns a lot of time. So what will happen is if you shoot, let's say you shoot first on a stage, and this could be team or individual, it wouldn't matter. You shoot, the RO is going to give you that brief, going to show you, point the targets out. Ranges are published. Obviously, if you want to, if you feel the need, you can rearrange targets. There's nothing that says you can't. I've heard it said by another match director, like in his brief, the ranges are all wrong. Range them yourself. We range all the targets from the target to a vehicle parked at the shooting position. If you can get a better range than that, have a ball. But we do everything within our power to give accurate data to the target.
Are the target ranges only available at the stage position, or will we have ranges prior to getting to the stage?
There'll be a published PDF provided prior to the match, so you can look at it in advance. You can print it if you'd like. There'll be a copy of the course of fire, the targets on each stage as you walk up to it. So there'll be a sign on the stage, and it says you have 4 targets. They're all cheap, and they're all, the ranges are 810, 925, 1075, 11 and a quarter, whatever they may be. And then, we verified that to the limits of our equipment prior to the event, giving you the best data we can get. And then, but you're going to, because you're rolling up. So once you shoot that first stage, you're going to pick your gear up. You're going to gather all your brass, anything you've got left, and you're going to move. You're going to go to the next stage. And when you get there, there's going to be 5, 6, 8 shooters that still haven't shot. So you're going to have and you're going to get in line. You're going to have the opportunity to watch 5, 6, 8 guys shoot that stage. So by the time it's your turn to shoot, if you haven't found a target, it's because you haven't tried.
So they're definitely not blind. It's not a blind stage at all.
It's not a blind match. Nope. And obviously, if there is still a question, the RO is going to help you out with that. But you're going to use the example of the people in front of you that the RO is helping direct as your course fire, as your brief.
Okay. When you said pair fire, does pair fire mean one shooter shoots and then the second shooter shoots and you go back and forth until you're done?
Correct. Yep. So you'll help you both engage target 1, hit or miss, move on, and back to shooter 1. Shooter 1 will engage target 1. Shooter 2 will engage target 1. And it is Oh, it's been called a bunch of things, but like a dead target format. So if you impact the target, you're done shooting.
Mm.
It's a 2-1 scoring. You get 2 points for the first hit, 1 point if it takes you to the second round. So first round hits are worth more points. That's the way, whether you're a team or an individual, if you want to excel at the match, you want first round impacts.
You mentioned a PDF is going to be available. Where are the shooters going to find that?
So the practice score registration, the match page,
Okay.
we'll have it posted in the match documents portion of that website. We will also, typically I drop that in a Dropbox folder and provide a link to that on the Facebook page as well.
Okay.
So, and anybody can, download that and print it ahead of time if they'd like.
And so guys aren't blowing you up. When are they going to expect that to be there?
The course of fire itself should be a few weeks prior to the match. We won't kick that out any more than maybe 3 weeks in advance.
Okay.
And if you don't see it until 2 weeks before the match, don't panic. It's coming. You will see it. You'll have ample time to print it and analyze it and lose sleep over it before you get on a plane or get in a vehicle and drive west. Well, in your case, east, actually.
Yep. Yeah, we're coming. It's going to take us a day to get there and a day to get home. It's going to be a blast. We plan on, like Pete said, we were mentioning, we plan to, this is for the Shoot to Hunt podcast, that we're kind of doing this for. We did one episode already where we just talked through like our thought process for picking cartridges and barrels and bullets and what we're going to go through to kind of get ready and prep for the stage, because we're both pretty competitive. We're completely inexperienced other than hunting. So we wanted to give guys kind of our perspective of what we had to go through to get there. And then of course we're recording this with you guys now. We'll do another one after we've been shooting the rifles right before we head out to your place. We'll do one at your place and then one when we get back, and just kind of give the majority of the people that don't get to do stuff like this a perspective. And I think it'd be pretty awesome all the way around. So that was kind of the goal, especially with bringing you guys on. We want to have the most information we can and try and be successful. And we plan on doing quite a bit of practice. And yeah, we plan on shooting 7 PRC. We got to go out with Peterson, to Peterson's factory here, 2-3 weeks ago. We got to see the first 7 PRC Peterson brass being made, and we got to bring some back with us. So we're going to shoot 7 PRCs with 190 A-tips and see how that does before we get out there.
That should be a good cartridge.
How many total stages are there, guys?
This year, we're going to change the course fire up a little bit. So that's kind of still to be determined, but it'll be around 20. I think last year there was 22, I believe. There won't be any more than that, but there may be less. So you can plan around 20 stages. If you shoot a perfect match, you'll shoot generally 4 rounds per stage, up to 8.
Okay.
So max round count 160.
Max.
Yeah, I'd probably plan for 200 just to be on the safe side in case we get a crazy thought and change something kind of extreme on a couple stages.
And if you want to shoot that unicorn
stage, bring extra for the unicorn for sure.
I'm gonna need at least 100 rounds for that.
on the target sizes obviously it dictates on how far it is, but do you guys have like an MOA standard per yard per distance, or is it change or just random?
It's 2 to 3 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, most targets are close to life size, 60-70%. Some of the targets we don't do life size just because the amount of steel it would take to do a life size elk. But
15% T-Rexes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we got some smaller T-Rexes. The unicorn, we're guessing to be about 50% life size of the lesser Great Plains unicorn species.
Do these targets have indicators or no? The far ones or no?
Yeah, we'll have target indicators on them.
Any movers?
One.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And again, from the beginner perspective, from the non-experienced competitor perspective, is there anything that's let's say that's not allowed within the team's operation, equipment that's not allowed, or just shit that's just straight up taboo in the competition environment so we don't embarrass ourselves?
I'm not going to tell you that. We want to watch this fun too.
Oh, that's funny.
It's pretty hard to game this match. I mean, you're shooting an average target distance of probably 1,300 yards with any amount of wind up to and including 65, 70 miles an hour. If you think having a different bipod is going to help you that much, I mean, bring it. It's a field prone match. There's really no way to really game it. There's no way to, I mean, you're at the mercy of Mother Nature most of this match.
Is it 100% belly shooting prone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. All field prone.
And do you guys, being that you've been around since the beginning, do you guys see that a certain type of cartridge, certain size of cartridge, certain caliber of bullet tends to do well? In other words, the guys that are finishing top 10, is there some consistency that you see there?
We consistently see the guys who put in the time at the top, regardless of what gun they're behind.
We've had guys compete and do well with dashers. The first couple years that we did this, we had some guys do good with dashers.
Well, that answers that right there.
Didn't a guy with a 6.5 PRC win?
You better bring your A game if you're bringing a dasher, but it can be done.
And I'm going to name drop. Kevin Ditto. I forgot his name. Sorry, Kevin. Kevin came out and shot it with a 308 and did well with it too. He was in the top 10, I think.
Sean did too.
Did he? I can't remember.
5 years ago. Yeah, he shot 308 that year as well.
Nice.
So it's, a lot of the faster cartridges, the 6.5s and the 7s, even the 300 Norma has done well in the past. Some of the bigger guns, some guys have done well with the 338s, but I would say between 6.5 and 30 caliber are going to be your top performers.
Okay.
But that's not necessarily the case either.
It's really challenging to shoot 160 rounds of a big bore well. That's you really do have, there's a level of focus that it takes, and you put a good break on a 6.5 or a 7, and it's quite mild, and you guys are obviously mitigating that with weight as well. But
do you guys see more brakes or suppressors?
Probably more
I'd say predominant brakes, yeah.
Gotcha. Because I didn't.
You probably have maybe somewhere in the neighborhood of 20% cans.
Okay. Interesting.
What's your guys' thoughts on that? Brakes or cans? I'm asking for a friend.
Team dynamic, a can is actually kind of useful.
Yeah, I imagine.
You don't have that big cloud of dust, because we're kind of dealing with a moon dust environment out there, especially if it's dry, super dry. It's been both. Last year was one of the wettest years we had, but we've a lot of times are dealing with that moon dust environment, and when a brick goes off, it can be not only distracting, but the amount of dust that comes off of that is actually prevents you from seeing what's going on.
Yeah.
Communication, just being able to hear each other, hear correction when you're in a team environment can be helpful for sure. You guys, I know I listened to you guys' first podcast about it, and having clones of each other is helpful, especially particularly with the wind game. Yeah,
Ryan tends to be a better wind caller than me, and I would say we're a little fortunate at this point to have a shop that's building rifles and ammo and all this good stuff. It's basically what we do for most of our life, so we'll have the opportunity to practice quite a bit. We're not going to come out there with a freshly built rifle for sure, and we're real. I'm looking forward to it because, like I said, I've only shot one competition, and I really feel like this will help. I suck at wind call, so this is going to help me with hunting and yeah.
So Ryan's your wind bitch.
He is my wind bitch. I said I'll take the first shot, and then you fucking correct it so you can hit.
Yeah, we were shooting in the mountains last year, and I did a wind call for him. We were shooting like 1,500 yards, and he's like, "No fucking way."
Yeah.
And he center punched, and he's like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, he called like 2 or 3 minutes of wind on something. I was like, "There's no fucking way, dude. There's nothing even moving." And then of course, dead center fucking impact, and I'm like, "Damn it."
Pure luck. Go ahead.
there's the problem is there that if you miss, you got no excuses because he already burnt them in the dirt and showed you where the wind was.
Exactly. That's why he's shooting first. I'll look good.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. If he's calling wind and he misses anyway, but now you've got a good wind call and you miss, you just suck.
How you guys have done it for quite a few years now. What kind of wind average do you see? I know it could be extreme because of weather.
He's seen 70 miles.
Yeah, but like average.
Yeah,
average year, what's the wind look like?
The venue's in a wind.
Yeah, it's in a wind farm. There's great big wind turbines if that's an indicator.
Well, it's gonna make it fun.
On Friday, you guys will come. Yeah, Friday you guys will come out and zero your rifles. We do have some targets that you can shoot and kind of gather some dope and shoot a team unicorn and all that stuff. And it'll probably be fairly calm because that's just the way it is. Then match day, it'll probably be anywhere between 15 and 30. Just because that's the way it is. Yesterday you get to zero in calm winds and get your dope in calm winds, and today we get to test it.
So I'm bringing my 13-year-old kid with us, so he can be I guess he'll be our bag bitch. But he's super excited about going and attending. He actually, he was with me too in the first time we shot it in 2019. He was much smaller then, but his big question was revolving around snacks and food. Of course,
it's a good question.
Food, snacks, water. I know you guys said, that you guys got kind of a center of operation for all the different stages, but what's going to be available for people and what should we put in our backpack, other than lunch and the normal stuff?
So I totally misunderstood you. I thought you said sex and food, not snacks.
Oh,
I heard the same thing.
Advanced 13-year-old.
Food, snacks, and water.
Okay. That makes way more sense.
Nice. Hey, that's gonna be the little start of the podcast. That's gonna be the little snippet. Yeah. I thought you said fat sex. Nice.
So we'll
we
provide.
both heard the same thing.
Yeah, well, I'm glad it wasn't just me. So we'll provide lunches. Saturday we'll have just a kind of a little sack lunch for everybody that we'll deliver. In years past, we've had a cater our meals for us, and that's not really going to change other than kind of how we do it. There's been times where people just haven't taken a break to grab their lunch as they walk by. So we're going to make sure that everybody gets fed on Saturday and Sunday, a quick little snack. Depending on what time we get done Sunday, that'll determine kind of what we do there. But then Saturday, we're going to change it up just a little bit. Saturday, we're going to do kind of a bigger barbecue after the match. And we'll kind of get through some of the post-match awards, kind of that ceremony stuff, kind of get it out of the way on Saturday. So we'll do like the awards for the unicorn shoot. We'll have the caterer there at the park in Glen Rock, so everybody can have kind of a nicer meal, sit down at some benches and eat rather than in all the dust and the wind. Spend some time, camaraderie, visiting, meeting new people, doing whatever. Maybe do the RO, because we'll have an RO class as well. And so maybe Saturday night we'll do the RO awards and kind of give those guys their recognition. And
so that's Saturday night. That's at a separate location in Glen Rock from where we're going to shoot, where everybody's going to transport over to that area and then do this dinner and award ceremony. Okay.
Yep, and it'll just kind of abbreviate Sunday post-match. We know everybody's got a lot of travel that they need to get back, so the sooner we can get done on Sunday, it's just better for everybody. Sunday we'll still do the main awards, and it'll be at the same location.
Okay.
But it'll just be more abbreviated because we've taken care of a good portion of it on Sunday.
Dinner again on Sunday night too?
Yeah, we'll probably have a lunch there on Sunday.
Okay. Well, perfect. Well, he got his questions answered, so that means he needs to pack around his Takis and Red Bulls and shit in the backpack then.
Yep.
Nice. What form? When the team guys are communicating with each other and they're talking dope and they're looking at targets and things like that. I bought this like electronic board thing. But anyways, I'm asking because are these guys? Do they have the little whiteboards that hang off the side of their rifle? each guy has his own dope kind of thing? Or what do you guys see with the team communication for dope, target location, communication, just while they're shooting that stage?
You want the good parts or the bad parts?
I want it all.
Yeah, they went the good and the bad and the
I
ugly.
mean, some of them sound like old married couples.
You suck.
Like, dude, what the fuck were you doing?
Yeah. What are you, a full fucking rev off, dude? I didn't even see it. Where did it go?
I wasn't even ready.
Yeah, anything you can imagine, it's been said.
Okay.
But then there's the other ones that just grunt at each other and they hit everything.
Nice. Those are the practiced ones.
Yeah, they're like,
I imagine you guys have seen some divorces out there too. Telepathy.
Yeah.
I own a gear review site, so I would be remiss if I didn't ask you, do you guys see many scopes go down out there?
every year.
Can you tell us what they are?
This like Pete was talking, this place is full of moon dust, so you're going to have dirt in places you didn't know you could get it.
Gotcha.
Interesting.
Any mechanical device in that environment will go down eventually. I mean, we've had, if I was to point out, oh, these go down more than others, I'd be lying to you, because I think in the 8 years, we have seen every single brand of optic go down. You know, but that's, I mean, you're talking
Triggers.
about, and triggers. Yeah, triggers are actually probably worse than optics.
That's what I was just going to ask you. Any seen any triggers or rifles go down?
Yeah, we've got, well, and then,
well, what trigger do you guys run so it doesn't go down?
Well, I run a Trigger Tech Diamond, but I've seen, like Pete says, every brand we've seen of every different piece of equipment or gear has failed at some point.
I got it. Well, we're gonna have some spare fucking triggers in the backpack.
Wouldn't hurt.
and
Yeah, if you have the ability to bring some spare parts, it wouldn't be a bad idea.
Nice.
What
Trigger Tech
Trigger Tech's pretty
seem
good.
to do. Yeah.
What mistakes do you see shooters doing the most?
Not
Probably
trusting their gear, maybe.
What's that?
That one, and
Not trusting their gear.
Mm.
You know, when your Kestrel tells you it's 2.5 mils of wind, and you look at it and you're like, "There's no way." Well, there probably is.
That's going to be Jake. Jake
I
already argues with me anyways.
I do not. I already promised Ryan. I say, Ryan, I don't care if you tell me it's 10 minutes of wind and it's fucking not a wind to lick, not a liquid wind in the air. I'm going to listen to everything that you say. So we'll see what happens there.
what are these minutes you speak of?
Minutes of wind.
Yeah, I don't know.
I guess I shouldn't say minutes of wind. What am I supposed to say? Mills of wind?
Mills.
Tenths.
You
We are
say
gonna
whatever you want.
We are going to be shooting the mills.
You say it like an alien or alien for meals.
You know what happens is I talk with so many new shooters, getting into a rifle, and they're looking to buy the Kestrel and buy a rangefinder and things like this, that I get in the habit of telling them that minutes are easier to understand for beginners, and I guess I often forget that I shoot mills. So telling so many guys to shoot MOA, it is easier to understand for beginners, 100%. But
is there any other shoots out there like this? If somebody came to this and they love it and they can go shoot another one this year, is there anything else like it?
There's actually one, a very similar shoot. It's sponsored by KRG. It's much smaller. It's a one-day match. And I'm trying to remember, Tad, do you remember? It's Brett
Brett Dorland?
or Upford. What's that?
Brett Dorland.
Yeah, Brett Dorland's match. There you go. He and Chris Davis putting it on, and it's a few weeks prior, or maybe a month prior. And it's, Brett actually ROs for us usually. He's just, those guys really enjoy the ELR matches. That's kind of their niche.
Nice.
And they're putting that match on. Honestly, I don't think that one's sold out either.
Really? Speaking of that, is there
I don't
any,
remember. I haven't.
if somebody listens to this podcast and they want to try to get into yours, is there any way possible? Are you guys done?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
If somebody listens to this podcast and they want to see if they can still get in, is there any way possible? Do you guys have a waiting list, or how does that work?
We do. You can still sign up on the wait list on Practice Score. It's just, Nightforce ELR Steel Challenge. If you search that on Practice Score, you can get on the wait list. And if you watch the Facebook page, this happens every year. We've gone through it, umpteen times. Everybody has things change, circumstances, whatever. And they end up trying to sell their spot on the Facebook page, in a few weeks in advance. I can almost guarantee you that there'll be at least 10 to 15 spots that will pop up pretty short notice. But if you know you want to go and you take the time off of work ahead of time, because I know guys got to schedule their time off of work a little further than a couple of weeks in advance usually. You can bet that there'll be some spots that come up available on the Facebook page from, somebody had a death in the family, or somebody had some kind of illness, or whatever, if I wrote down the list of things for withdrawals that I've had for the match,
It's like
it would be comical.
Why they're
I've
not gonna
had
be
some
there.
really good ones, but at any rate, things come up where guys can't make it.
Yeah.
And so those spots typically get posted on the Facebook page for sale. And so if somebody's interested in coming and they know they can make it for sure, that would be the place to watch.
Tell us about your guys' sponsor, all the different sponsors for the match, unless it's too long of a list, but tell us about your sponsors and what they do for the match.
Oh, it's a list. You have that in front of you, Tad?
I don't.
Hold on. I can pull it up. I've got my computer.
Is Nightforce one of them?
I would assume so. Who are the next biggest sponsors in line after Nightforce there?
Accuracy.
AI's been a big supporter, and of course Applied Ballistics.
Okay.
Interesting.
I'll pull up the list. We've got
And most of these sponsors, are they donating stuff for the prize tables? I mean, what are they doing? What is their role in the competition as far as being a sponsor?
It kind of runs the gamut. So we have sponsors that contribute on a cash basis, where they maybe pay for a meal or they pay for some other portion of the match. But then there is, the bulk of the sponsors are contributing to prize table items.
Okay.
They're wanting to see their products in front of the guys that are using them. So.
And how does a company or a business become a sponsor in that way? Do they just contact you guys, say, hey, we'd like to donate some stuff for the table? How does that work?
So we've been in the process of sending out emails and phone calls to different companies, but we surely can't catch them all. So if anybody, hasn't been contacted by us, by all means, hit us up. info@nfelr.com is a good email. Or we can throw out our phone numbers or whatever, and we'd be happy to make it work for them.
Okay.
All right. Is there anything that we didn't ask you that you want to put out there?
I got one last one. I remember one of the defining memories from the 2019 shoot was on a Sunday. The second day is halfway through the match. It rained a little bit, but the mosquitoes came out of nowhere and were fucking eating me alive. And I remember one stage in particular where there was one literally crawling in my ear as I'm in the rifle trying to get the stage done. But my question is are the mosquitoes as bad on this new ranch location, or or was that just a really bad year I was there?
They're worse.
They're worse.
Yeah.
Way worse.
On the match venue itself, you're going to have everything, horseflies, mosquitoes. The mosquitoes will be probably primarily the worst, though, at the park. It's right next to the river.
They're as big as metal arcs.
Shoot. So lots of spray, mosquito head nets. What do you guys do?
I'm
Pray for wind.
Pray for wind.
When it's blowing 70 miles an hour, mosquitoes can't navigate, so it's less of a concern.
Okay.
How's the jackalope population this year?
The jackalopes?
Yeah.
Strong.
Epic.
Well, you guys sound fun. I'm looking forward to meeting you guys in person. This will be pretty awesome. We're excited.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Anything we missed? Any you guys want to cover?
Ed?
I can't think of anything.
We've probably forgotten it all, but
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, this has been a lot of fun for Tad and I both. I mean, we helped Tad probably more so than I helped Scott with this for several years. I've been involved with it for 6 years now. Tad since the very beginning, and the match continues to grow and evolve, and we kind of listen to what people have to say about it in previous years and stuff, and we keep trying to make it better every year. So we're really hopeful that everybody enjoys it and keeps coming back. And it did sell out in like 26 hours or something like that this year.
Yeah.
And at a higher level than we've ever had. So that's thrilling for us. We enjoy having everybody. And I'm going to grouch and cuss somebody by the time the weekend's over, but at the end of the day, we really do enjoy putting it on.
Nice. Well, I think we covered, as a beginner, not knowing anything about the competition, I think we pretty much covered all the logistical match, food type of questions people might have. So, we'll definitely be directing people towards the podcast to listen to that. And you guys feel free to do the same. I'm sure you guys will have more opportunities to put information out there. But like myself, I don't have Facebook. I've never had Facebook. I'm not sure Ryan spends much time on there either as far as social media goes. But again, the PDF coming out on Practice Score will be great for the Course of Fire, at least a couple weeks before the match. And, if it's not for Facebook, is there any other way for guys to keep up with the updates you guys are going to be putting out?
Right now, that's primarily the avenue that we've been using.
Okay. Awesome. Well, we appreciate you guys.
Yeah, and for the listeners out there, we are going to have a few more podcasts on the Nightforce ELR Steel Challenge, and we're going to have a video. But if you have any questions for me or Jake, in the meantime, get a hold of us at podcast@shoottohunt.com or DM us on Instagram @shoottohunt. Thanks for listening.